All right, hey everybody, Jay and Manion here at the NPC Photo Gym. This is an interview that I didn't ever think was going to take place because we have the brand new Miss Olympia
Andrea Shaw.
and she is here. Now mind you, the last time a Miss Olympia was inside the walls of this gym was Lenda Murray. And ironically, Lenda Murray is from Detroit. And Andrea, you're from?
Detroit.
Look at that.
The Motor City's got some fine turnouts for
Yes, yes, absolutely. And I am so excited.
Me too. So excited.
Listen, I'm so excited. I'm working on a Saturday at home. I would only do this for her.
Thank you.
No, I mean, like I said, we have not had a Miss Olympia here in the modern era where we're doing all the digital and everything, you know?
Yeah. But what a great year for, you know, the return of Miss Olympia, and now we get to be in the NPC gym.
Yeah.
It's like just continuing to...
So it's just pretty cool being here, right?
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. I mean, the videos really... I mean, there's one thing, because we get to see a little bit, but like this place is enormous.
Right. It got warm in here pretty quick, didn't it?
Oh yeah.
I'm actually a little warm in this jacket. So I think I'm going to take this off. Just keep filming. So.
Okay. Well, I was warm because, you know,
Yeah.
I was moving and shaking. I had my...
You got to do that. And
my IFBB zip up on, so...
I'm going to drop this.
Oh, what do we have? Oh, looky there.
Oh, ironically, what is that?
Oh, it's the title that I won last year. That is so cool.
Okay, now, full disclosure, Alina, for giving me the shirt.
Thank you, Alina.
It is backwards. This is actually the front.
Yes, I gathered that. When you took the jacket off, I saw the back. I'm like, okay, there's a wing sheep on the back.
But I thought that this was more appropriate for the interview.
Okay, agreed.
Right?
Thank you, Alina. She's always got my back. Did Linda approve you?
No, Alina gave me this at the Olympia.
Okay, I'm sure they co-conspired together.
Just so, you know, everyone at Wing the Strength is going to go, he's got the shirt on backwards. Yes, I do.
Intentionally. They did a great job with the shirt.
Yes, I love this. I love this.
Amazing.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, I figured it goes with the hat.
Indeed.
Thanks, Dan Solomon.
Yes. And I've still got some Olympia gear I'm waiting on, some back orders. So,
yeah,
they did a great job. I mean, everything was just so good.
Right.
For the return, I felt like the red carpet was just rolled out.
Well, it was interesting talking with Lenda. I said, I realized that this was my 31st Miss Olympia that I have either been to or worked at. Okay, so I said to Lenda, I go, competing and attending, right? How many Miss Olympias after you? And she went, it's 31 for me also.
Wow. Talk about committed to the sport.
Well, this also goes to show how far back Lenda and I go.
Yeah, and I remember, Tyler, sorry, but Lenda said, you know, she held you when you were a baby, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Sorry, Tyler.
No, you're not.
No. I thought that was just so funny, though. Like, wow, you know, the commitment to the sport, though. I mean,
yes,
you guys have been there for us and will continue to be there for us. So
yes.
It's like, it keeps it exciting.
All right, so let me ask you, when you heard that the Miss Olympia was coming back, what was going through your mind?
I got a shot. Wow, I got a shot. And you know, I had just gotten into female bodybuilding. So when they made the announcement, I was only 2 shows in. So I mean, it moved so quick. And I was like, okay, I'm only 2 shows in. That gives me a little bit of time during the off season to really like study, you know, bodybuilding, talk to Alina and Lenda, ask more questions, and then work with Sid on posing. And I'm like, okay, you know what? This says to me, I've got a chance to really make some history.
Has she ever done any shows?
Oh man, I think she's done a couple. You know, she kind of has a few trophies that I kind of heard. The first one she has is named Bertha.
Oh yeah.
She got that at this big competition. It's pretty big. Bertha. What's up, Sid? But you know, I was very excited to know that, you know, Wings of Strength was going to be more hands-on, because my experience with them with the Tim Gardner shows from 2019, it was like, wow, this is really a great organization.
Yes.
And then when, you know, they came in and they just bought the Olympia, I was like, oh my gosh. I knew that the Olympia was going to be just elevated to the next level. Right. And I mean, they delivered. They delivered big time. And it was just so great.
From like my perspective, having seen, like, to give you all an example, basically what I've seen from the Miss Olympia, I saw from Corey Everson's very first Olympia on.
Wow.
I've seen everybody win from Corey through Linda, through Kim, the whole thing, all the way through. So,
That was before I was born. I couldn't help it.
feel better, Tyler? Because now she just got me. But anyways, I said, it was one thing during the prejudging when you were backstage and I'm talking to all of you and you're doing your, to me, I knew the Miss Olympia was back when they called out the first comparison and you all hit that front double bicep. To me, that meant it was back.
Right, like on fire.
Because you were all on stage then.
Oh man, and I think backstage, you probably couldn't see us, but we were all at curtain side, like, come on, let's get out there. Like, hurry up, you can put us out there. We're ready to get out there.
Yeah, I literally went and sat in the front row to watch this.
I mean, I wanted to run out there, and I'm like, okay, you know, is she done doing her routine yet? I'm like, let's go, let's get in the lineup. I mean, just an amazing, amazing event.
Now,
we're just getting started.
Yes. Now, what's interesting is, as I've been talking to Drea, is as we coming up after this, we're having my father's NPC IFBB Pittsburgh Pro, and I was telling her how we've had in the pro division, we've had 14 Olympia champions compete in the Pittsburgh Pro. That they competed in Pittsburgh Pro, some won, some did, but they went on to win the Olympia. And then she hits me with, "Oh, I was in the NPC Pittsburgh at one point."
Yes. Yes.
What division, though?
A women's physique. And I mean, as an amateur, that was still my absolute favorite venue. It was just amazing. Everything from the food to, you know, how the show was ran. And yeah, I mean, that show definitely set me up for success.
So now I can say we've had 15 people compete in the Pittsburgh that have gone on to win the Olympia.
And this time I'll be back, but I won't be competing. I'm just going to come and spectate.
That girl Sid won the Pittsburgh Pro too.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
I wonder what she named that trophy.
Yeah, we'll have to find out. That's a good one.
Yeah, we have to get her on.
Yeah, have to do that for sure.
Yeah. I like that girl.
Listen, I mean, she broke and made a record, tied a record this year, which was fantastic for her.
Yeah, and I mean, as a coach, because I was a little apprehensive at first because I've watched her, right? She's always so graceful, and she always brings a great physique to the stage. But I said when I inboxed her, I sent her an email like, do you happen to do any women's bodybuilding? And like, she's like, oh, of course. And then I see that she used to judge shows. Mm-hmm. So that's like, wow, you talk about people being committed. She's been competing since she was a teenager. I'm like, okay, she's got a wealth of knowledge to add. So, you know, huge thank you to Sydney for all that you do to promote the athletes in the organization and for working with us. Because, I mean, you know, she really helped me take it to the next level. And she's like, you know, if you want to be Mrs. O, learn from Mrs. O.
Well, someone that's got
and
four-figure Olympia.
And counting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Listen, she gets 5. She has the ultimate record.
She really does. I think she's going to do it. I think she's going to do it. She's got, I know her. She's got her eyes already set on it, and her heart.
Yes.
And she's going to help me to glean another trophy of my own. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
One of these, right?
Right.
It's one of these.
Right.
I keep pulling the shirt off, but yeah.
I've given mine some names, so now we got to get some new names.
Oh, okay. What's your name?
Victory.
Oh, I like that.
Victory.
Victory or Victoria? Which one?
I think Victory.
Okay.
Yeah, we can go, you know, it says a little bit more than just,
yes.
You know, But yeah, I mean, what a great event. So tell us a little bit about what you felt like the Miss Olympia was.
Oh, I mean, whenever, of course, they made the announcement the previous year was exciting, and you had the whole year build-up, but it is funny for me, I don't know, funny might not be the right word, but I think I look around at everybody that was involved with all this, okay, and basically, like, outside of Linda, no one else was around then. You know, I don't know how many people can stand here or anywhere and say they saw Corey Everson win the NPC Nationals, then go on to win the Olympia.
Yeah.
You know, I've been around it. I've been a fan of, you know, women's bodybuilding from the get-go.
Yeah. I mean, you've seen it, from its very beginning. Well, your dad probably could say he's he'd be the only other one.
It's few and far between.
Yeah.
You know, like when the Olympia dropped, you know, the Miss Olympia, which was not with Wings of Strength, or it wasn't the IFBB. I know that people would say, you know, they'd be crappy to me, saying, well, that's because of your dad. I'm like, well, if that's the case, then why is the NPC still holding women's bodybuilding contest?
Exactly.
Why, at that point, why, because we still had the NPC News Magazine, why are we still putting women bodybuilders on the cover of the NPC News Magazine?
Exactly. And we're not just talking, shows that are national qualifiers. I mean, women's bodybuilding is always at the North Americans. I mean, this is not something nationally, I mean, the national shows have still always
By the way,
had...
you want to know a little trivia fact?
Ooh, do tell.
Okay? That there's 2 North American champions that went on to win the Olympia. And they never won the USA, they never won the NPC Nationals.
Ah, and they are?
Lenda Murray and Kim Szewski.
Ah, straight shot to stardom.
Look at that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Wow. And now women's bodybuilding is back.
Yes.
In full effect.
Yes. I mean, I thought that the lineup was great. I mean, we know what the Rising Phoenix and everything, what they've done for them. But it's a great title. It's a great stopgap.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And,
to me, I mean, that's great, but now you have...
Yeah. And I think that the 2 shows together really will continue to unite the women's bodybuilding community.
Yes.
Because, that show really did fill a huge void once the Miss Olympia was taken away. And I think that, the Wings of Strength team is going to continue to make sure it remains prestigious. And, they're always...
Well, it always was prestigious. And anybody that thinks that it wasn't, then you can just turn this interview off right now.
Oh, yeah. I mean...
Or go flick to some other video.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, we can't shortchange that because the Rising Phoenix is absolutely... Tim Garner. I mean... Anybody who's been to a Tim Garner show knows, I mean, he puts
I've been to
on
1 or 2 of his.
Just a 2 of his few. I mean, I absolutely love him and his team. You can tell that they actually have their hearts in the right place. And it shows in everything that they do when they put these shows together. Everything from Tampa to Wings of Strength Rising Phoenix to Chicago Pro, which I did for my first women's bodybuilding debut. And I was just so impressed. I was just like, wow, look cool.
All right, so a lot of people probably don't really know much of your background. Okay, so what caused you to switch from women's physique to bodybuilding? We're going to kind of go backwards a little bit, but since we're on this, what was the decision? Was it talking to judges? Was it something you wanted to do? Was it a combination? I mean, what was it that made you ultimately, that led you to here and actually standing here?
It was not something I wanted to do.
That's even better.
Right. I mean, because I knew that I carried more muscle, as an athlete or competitor. However, during my pro debut in women's physique, I got approached by Bob Ciccarello, Linda, Alina, and one of the judges, 2 of the judges. And they said, you know what? You bring an excellent package to the stage. You're just not in the right place. So, I kind of took it in, especially after talking to the judges and then Linda and Alina, because, I mean, these girls, they know exactly what they're looking at. So, I mean, I really leaned on them. I asked them, any questions that I had, because then that meant I was moving into being a part of the Wings of Strength team, and it was all new. So I said, okay, well, let's talk about what the expectation is once I make this decision. And they're like, oh, you're going to come in the Wings of Strength. We're going to take good care of you, and we'll guide you through. We're here, it's a team, it's a family. So that became, the redirection of, okay, I got too much muscle. I'm the quadzilla on stage. I got to make sure that I get to where I fit. So, and I was already in really good shape. So Lena and Alinda said, you know what, Chicago Pro coming up. We got 30 days. You can swing that easy. So I said, okay. You know what? We'll go ahead and we'll do it. And I jumped into it.
I'm assuming you just drove there, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Living in Michigan, that's like, Linda knows. I mean, it's a quick ride.
Yeah.
I mean, and especially when you can just roll the windows
Which
down.
Is nice because you don't have to worry about the flight and different things.
Exactly. And I could pack as much or as little as I wanted.
Right.
And then you always pack more when you get to hit the road. My coach pulled the bag out like, oh my gosh, what did you bring here? I brought stuff to help me.
Let me tell you what I didn't bring. It's easier.
Right, the sink. The sink. But, oh man, and that, I mean, the first show, which was Chicago Pro as a women's bodybuilder, or female bodybuilder, it was great. I mean, I felt as though, it was a perfect fit, and there were some veteran girls on stage, and I came in second, and I was like, wow, okay. this is cool.
Yeah.
Like, all right, now we're working with something that, you know, is promising.
Yes.
And then to find out later that year that Miss Olympia was coming back, it's like, oh man, okay.
Now, did you ever dream that you would win the first one back?
No, I did not. I knew that I would be at an Olympia at some point. I always thought that maybe it would be as a women's physique competitor. So I kind of mentally thought, you know, I'm going to have to work my way up through the ranks. I'm going to have to, you know, really dial it in and really give myself, you know, 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
But then, you know, making the switch, it was like, okay, I really got a shot at making this happen. And then again, went back to Alina, Linda, asked them a few more questions about, you know, what, and said, you know, what are we going to be looking at when it comes to, you know, what's the expectation? What should the look be? Because, you know, it's new, right? It's not new, but it's new because, you know, with it coming back, you know, there's going to be a different look. There's going to be a totally different standard for what it is that will be the industry of female bodybuilding. So after talking to them, you know, to focus on these things, you know, not necessarily focus on a whole lot of size, more symmetry, but you definitely want to also bring enough clarity to the stage. And it was like, okay, got it. So Omaha Pro came along, that went well. And pandemic, right? So it was like, oh, finding a gym. This is why this gym is amazing, right? I would drive down to Pittsburgh if they ever close the gyms again.
Well, listen, I gotta let you know that during this time, my dad kicked us all out of here.
What? Wow, why?
So he could use it.
Oh, well, here's the prez. Can't say much. Just say, can you let us know when you want to let us in? You tell him you'll sleep outside. Maybe you can pull some sympathy strings.
No, he has no sympathy.
Oh, well, yeah, he just pulls.
Well, listen, I understand why he did it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know why?
Yeah, because of the whole, you know, pandemic and being around people you don't know.
But you're his son.
It doesn't matter. It was none of us could come here. Tyler couldn't come here or whatever. Nobody. Listen, he wanted to keep everything basically clean.
Okay, and that's, you know what?
You know, we were out more than he was.
Yeah.
You know,
and his health is still a priority.
Absolutely, it's his place.
That's right.
That's
right.
It's still his gym.
Yeah, and you know he's keeping his health a priority.
Right.
And, you know, like
so you could have drove here and I would have showed you where LA Fitness or Gold's Gym was.
Yeah, and then I just would have had to say, well, I'll just go back to Michigan, or maybe can you loan me some dumbbells? Hey Jim, can I borrow some dumbbells?
You're right.
Wow, but I mean, I can't say enough about this place. It's amazing. Like, this is amazing. You guys have everything in here. Like, everything. All the good, like, old school.
I always love watching people's faces because everybody sees us standing here.
Yeah.
You see bits and pieces of the training and stuff, but you never see the full gym. You just see these little bits and pieces on the video.
And let's be clear, they are little bits and pieces. Like, when I walk in, I'm like, whoa, wow. Okay, this is the best kept little secret. It's a little gym in here, like GEM, not G-like.
Yeah, it's way bigger than people think. I always love people's expressions as they kind of come walk in and they're like,
yeah,
oh wow, wow, this is.
And there's still a lot to take in because it's like, wow, I remember this machine, that machine. Like,
and this was the original Manion's gym. This is exactly where it was, right here.
Wow.
And actually, this was not a wall here. This was open and into another room.
Okay.
You know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing. So now he's let you in, obviously.
Oh yeah. As things got better, he let us back in. But you know, it was actually good because we got there was things that needed fixed.
Okay.
Okay. All the machines were gone through and everything was clean, top to bottom.
Oh, great.
You know, and so, yeah, but it was 2020. What do you say?
Glad we got past it.
Yeah. All right, so again, I'm going to jump backwards. So you said you were always a quad queen, so that leads me to believe that you played sports.
Yes, even though some people don't consider it a sport or them a sport. So I was into gymnastics and cheer.
Okay, how's that not a sport?
Well, some people say, oh, well, it's not, a real sport.
Oh, they say that about bodybuilding from I was little. I've heard that.
They sure did, and it is definitely a real sport.
Right.
Yes. But yeah, I started gymnastics and cheer roughly from age 6 to 14. So lots of time invested. Once I got into high school, I was kind of like over it. I wanted to get into more academics because I was like, okay, I've been doing cheerleading forever, and I'm like, okay.
Right.
But I can still do a few. And now what fitness was going to be like kind of like my fallback.
Yeah.
I can still do like the cartwheels. I can still almost do the splits. I'm working on that.
Well, you do realize, okay, that if you decide to get into a contest, I mean, you could go into a contest, you just can't cross over. You can do a fitness contest.
Yeah, but I'd rather watch a fitness contest. Those girls are amazing.
It might be a time where you just go, listen, give this a shot one time.
Yeah, no. I like to watch it. I like to watch it. And those girls, they work. Oh my gosh. I couldn't imagine having to prep, be on such a restricted diet, and still have to practice the routine. Yeah, I tip my
Well, listen,
hat.
we'll just leave it hanging out there. And someday you just get a crazy, wild idea. Just let me know.
Okay. Well, yeah. Don't wait on it. Oh gosh, yeah. Oh. Yeah, maybe for kicks and giggles. We'll do an unofficial show. Maybe some sort of
You can't do an unofficial show. You have to sign. You have to sign up.
We'll come up with something.
Yeah.
We'll come up with something. Maybe
Sign your
Jake
contract.
and the team could put together something for me.
Or you could do an exhibition.
Oh.
Like a guest posing.
Okay, that is.
Shock everybody. In the middle of your routine, start pulling out some fitness moves.
There you go, because then it's allowed.
Yes.
That's a good point. Okay, I'm going to talk to the coach about that. See, quick, yes. All right,
Well, where's your coach?
he's around here
He's
somewhere.
around the corner somewhere.
The IFBB Pro John Simmons.
Yes.
Hello.
We're making plans for her future without you.
Guest posing will now involve maybe some fitness elements. Elements, yes.
That's okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I promise we won't get injured.
It's just guest posing. It's not a real contest.
He threatens me though. Sometimes he threatens to throw me back in figure.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So you literally came from figure to women's physique to bodybuilding.
Yes, which is one of the reasons why I'm so glad that, you guys work behind the scenes to keep the organization growing. We've got wellness making its way to the Olympia stage this year, which is so cool because there's a spot for everyone. And that gave me hope.
And listen, as we've discussed, those wellness competitors were doing things like you did, like gymnastics, cheer.
Track athletes.
Yes, track. Soccer, or football in all the other countries outside of America.
Hence the dominant quad.
It was funny when we started doing the international a couple of years ago, doing a little bit more, and every country I went to outside of, obviously outside the United States, they go, oh, your daughter's the football player, and I'll be like, oh yeah, she is, right? Because I immediately think of the NFL.
Like football,
and they're like,
soccer.
Yeah, football. Yeah, I'm like, yes, she is.
At least she thought of it quick.
Yeah.
But yes, I mean, it's definitely apparent too. You see the quad development in these girls, the heavier, glutes than the bikini competitors. But, the fact that they have a place.
Right.
And they're going to be displayed.
Right.
It's going to be great.
And to me, it's very exciting that you very rarely get, basically the return of women's bodybuilding, and then the following year we have the debut of wellness. I mean, to get two divisions like back-to-back Olympias like that,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's pretty cool.
It's so exciting. It's so exciting. And it's
Now, I know from talking to her earlier, she's really excited to see the wellness, especially they're coming here to Pittsburgh to watch the very first one here in the United States, the Pittsburgh Pro Wellness, which will be on April 30th.
Yes, and we're going to stay the whole weekend. So, I mean, it's great to be a part of, the movement of the organization. Always moving forward, always making sure that, hey, we hear the athletes, and we're going to make sure that we can create a place for you. So, when I first started, there was only fitness, figure, women's bodybuilding.
Right.
And look at how much it's evolved. It's
Right.
great, and you get more athletes, more worldwide athletes.
Yes.
And again, everybody can be celebrated regardless of, previous sport or body size, shape, development. Like you can, and hey, maybe a wellness competitor outgrows wellness. She moves up to figure. Maybe she wants to dial it back a little bit if she can, because again, the
Or a
divisions-
wellness competitor could potentially move into women's physique
Yeah, hey,
with the
at
with
this
the legs.
rate,
Yeah.
maybe even bodybuilding. Who
Right.
knows? The sky's the limit.
Right. So how does it feel that now you are the standard? You're the gold standard. Everyone looks at you, your physique, what you brought to the Olympia stage, that everyone wants to emulate you. I mean, I know Tyler put a video out saying, try to be like the person, but you are what people are striving. How does that feel?
It's still sinking in. I keep saying that because it's like I know it happened, but it's a bit surreal because it's like you know, when I looked at Linda for all those years, and it's like, this really happened. So,
Right.
you know, it's still a part of me that says like,
I mean, I know it hasn't even been 2 months yet.
yeah, it's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
But it's an honor. And in the back of my mind, I try to fight that like competitive nature with, there's still more work to do. There's still more things I want to change, and try to be grateful for, you know,
Right.
the moment.
But that's the athlete in you.
It is. It is. I've already made my list, and I'm already like getting ready to ask Sydney, okay, are we ready to start? And yeah, it's something that you really have to try to find balance with. But I'm happy. I'm very, very happy because I just can't explain how fast it happened, other than there was just perfect timing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, God designed, the perfect time, and it was just amazing.
Yeah. Now, in using terminology used in some of the other sports, so are you going to be a fighting champion, or are you just going to sit on your butt until the Olympia?
Oh, well, no. I've got the Rising Phoenix to do as well.
So you want to get that back to back, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, I want to really focus on being a great ambassador for the sport. I know Helly and I were inboxing each other the other day, you know, just making sure that we're doing everything we can to continue to promote the sport and, you know, answer questions that maybe some of the young ladies have who, you know, really don't have, you know, the connections, so to speak. Maybe they have a male coach, or maybe there's just certain other things that they want to know, and they want to have somebody who they maybe look up to, who can give them some pretty straightforward answers. So,
right.
You know, although it's a competition, you know, I love all the girls, but we try to make sure that, especially since, you know, we're just coming back, we want to do our very best to make sure that, you know, we continue to represent the division well. So again, open door policy. You girls got questions. Maybe you're a women's physique competitor like I was, and you absolutely know the frustration of trying to fight your body. Yeah, I mean, we are always going to be open to you girls as a resource. That's why we love the organization. That's why we're here. So yeah, just reach out, ask questions. And you know, we're people too. We want to make sure that we can help you be the best athlete you can, regardless of your titles. It's always you against you.
Yeah.
Right. It's at a certain point, it's always you against you. So it's a competition. We're grateful for, you know, that competitiveness between us, but we're still human. And just like you've known, far beyond competing, you have relationships thereafter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've known Linda for the last 31 Olympias.
Yeah, I mean.
But that friendship started long ago. So, I mean, you know, I always tell competitors, go into it with the mindset of you have to have the competitive edge, but you also have to be relational if you truly want to be successful. Because again, those relationships, whether you're coaching athletes later on after you retire, whether you're judging, or whether, you know, you're still just showing up at shows, you just never know where the dynamic can come into play. So
Right.
that's definitely a piece of advice I would give to anybody that's, you know, currently looking to compete or competing, and, you know, look at it from that angle as well.
Right. That's good. That's good. So if people want to contact you, where do they go?
I
What's the best
prefer
place?
Instagram.
Okay.
Definitely prefer Instagram. I like Instagram. It's like it's quick.
And your Instagram page is?
Ms. Pretty Muscle.
That's M-Z.
MZ. Right, because I don't know where I came up with that from.
That's all right. That makes it unique.
I think someone created like describe yourself in 2 words or less. You seen those games?
Yes.
Then it's like, okay, well, pretty muscle. And I was like, because I knew I was like muscular at that point. And I was like, well, and we keep it pretty. So that's where I said, well, we'll add a little spin with the MZ.
Right. There we go.
Go figure.
All right. So let's jump back again. How did you get hooked up with John Simmons as your trainer?
So John has always been around. Him and Linda used to be training partners back in the day. And when I had a friend who introduced me to John, she and I were doing a spin class together. I said, you know, I think I want to do my first show. Because I knew at that point I had been through college, and I was like freshman 15 turned into freshman like 25.
So you didn't do any sports in college?
No, I was still more academics, but I could definitely still sense that, you know, looking in the mirror like, okay, something's not quite right. But there was no more practice. There was nothing built into my schedule that kept me accountable.
Right.
And so, you know, I said, okay, let me do a little research with competing. And I'm like, okay, this is definitely something that, you know, could force me to get into my best shape. Like, I gotta stay on top of the diet, and I gotta stay on top of the training, because the suit is this big.
Yeah.
So, you know, I got the referral from her to go see John. And this was 13 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you said you've been competing for 13 years, but you competed in a bunch of different divisions, right?
I have. I started in figure. I did 2 shows in figure. Quickly came to the realization that I am the quadzilla on stage. And then there was no women's physique at that time. So we're talking 2008. There was just figure, fitness, and bodybuilding.
Right.
Knew for sure I wasn't there wasn't enough development to move into women's bodybuilding. So I said, you know what, I'm just going to take a break. Fitness was on the radar, but it wasn't really like where my heart was because, again, I had done cheerleading for so long. I just wanted to do something different. And so took a break, finished college, and then got into studying women's physique. So then that's on the scene, and I'm like, okay. Talked to my coach, John Simmons, about it, and it's like, okay, yeah, we want to give it a go. Let's just see what we can do. We're going to critique a few things, fine tune a few things, because again, it definitely the training had to change from figure to women's physique. But yeah, got into doing his show in 2016. So that's a whole 8-year hiatus of training, eating better, getting my diet under control, being consistent. And I came in 4th at that show, which was, first women's physique show. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
And, I said, all right, I think that let's just take 1 more year off, really focus on developing, adding in more time, focusing more on certain movements, and then let's go 2018. I really think we got a good shot at getting the pro card. And he said, you know what, I agree. Let's go with that. So 2018 comes around. We started off hot in March. Went down to Dave Lieberman's show in Ohio.
That's the Natural Ohio in the beginning, yes.
That was a really big show. Shout out to Dave. That was a great show. He gives out these trophies. His trophies is tall.
Yeah, they're
me.
like...
It's huge. And I'm like, John, how are we going to get this back to Michigan? Yeah, but I mean, great show. I came in 2nd.
Was it like hanging out the window?
Yeah, oh man, we had to lay all the seats back, and it was like, he had a truck at the time, so it was like, okay, just lay all the seats back, and then figure out, open the window, do...
Right.
But we got it back. But yeah, I mean, it was a cool show, especially for my 2nd women's physique show, and placed 2nd, but missed the 1st place by 1 point.
Okay.
So it was like, okay, we got a good fit. Went on to do John's show again, won that in 2018, did Linda's show in Detroit, the Detroit Classic, and won that one. Then came to Pittsburgh, where I came in 3rd at the North Americans, which was super awesome because there was a lot of competition. I was in the C class, and so that's usually a pretty good stacked class. For 3rd place, even though I was still a little too muscular, or dense for even women's physique, we got a chance to go to Miami for nationals, softened it up just a little bit, and then finally got the pro card. So that was like a good heightened end to 2018, and then we finally got to...
Well, so where did you make your pro debut?
Toronto.
Okay.
Toronto. You read my mind. So yeah, Toronto Pro. I decided on that show because it was close. Living in Michigan, Toronto was only a 3-hour drive. So it was like, let's go ahead and make the trip. And it was great. I did not do as well as I anticipated for women's physique. Again, I got the harsh kind of realization.
Yeah.
Still too much density there.
Well, of course, I remember photographing you there, so.
Yeah. And I mean, it was.
But I want the people to know.
Yes. I always look for you at the shows. I kind of get mad at you when I know you're not going. I'm like, why is he not coming to Omaha this year?
That's up to the promoters.
Yeah, that's true. But I just like seeing you there because I know you always get great stage shots.
And we have fun backstage.
Oh, man, we have a blast. But yeah, I mean, Toronto was great because, I mean, I got a chance to chat with Alina and Linda as soon as I got off stage. Bob Chick got a chance to say, hey, I really think you should be in women's bodybuilding. And I'm like, okay, Bob. And he's like, no, really. I'm like, all right, Bob, I got this feeling. You're right. Because, I knew backstage. I'm looking around and I'm like, okay, I am definitely not as not tiny, but not as, streamlined as these young ladies. These are the pros, right? So I started to put 2 and 2 together, and I'm like, Yeah, I don't fit. I knew when I made second call out. I said, okay,
Yeah.
got this feeling. So as soon as I got off stage, Alina and Linda are like waiting over here in the wings, kind of, so to speak.
Well, their booth was open. I remember the booth was there. Yeah.
Exactly. So I mean, they were kind of like, oh, come on over. And then I'm like, ooh, okay, time to have that conversation.
Yeah.
But you know, they welcomed me. They were like, okay. So Linda says, you know what you got to do, don't you? I said, yeah, I know. You know how she just.
Yeah.
And when you ready? I said, I'm ready now. So what's the game plan? So, you know, they filled me in on what's, you know, the program like for Wings of Strength ambassadors, what to expect. And they recommended that, hey, look, if you can, we really think it's a good idea that you jump. You're already in great shape. Just jump right into the next show. Next show happened to be the Chicago Pro. Jumped right into it. And it was great because,
so that's your bodybuilding.
That bodybuilding
debut, right?
And I got to drive. I didn't have to get a flight.
Again, yes.
Right. It was like perfect. And it was awesome. I mean, veteran girls on stage, they were even welcoming. They're like, wow, we heard you were coming to the team. We, you know, heard about you. Came in second at that show by Alicia Young. 1 point. And I knew then, I said, all right. Thank you, Alina. Thank you, Linda.
Yes.
I am in the right spot. So then Rising Phoenix thereafter, and it moved pretty fast. I remember seeing you in Tampa, so I didn't get a chance to chat with you a whole lot because Tampa was busy that year.
Yeah,
it was
Tampa's
a great
always
show.
busy,
oh,
yeah.
Man, and that show was huge that year. So I came in, I'm like, oh my gosh, like this would have been a good show to do. But yeah, it was a great experience to get to be around the team more, to see, you know, what the dynamics were, and I got a chance to go to the Rising Phoenix in 2019. Which I placed 7th, so, you know, I kind of told them last year, I said, I got to redeem myself. But it took some time, got a chance to refocus on more of the classic things about female bodybuilding, asked a few more questions about, you know, what Alina and Linda thought about, you know, where the direction that the sport was heading, you know, what kind of look did they think that, you know, would represent the division well.
So you do the Rising Phoenix, and then they make the announcement that Miss Olympia is coming back. I mean, how much did that motivate you?
Oh, it motivated me a whole lot. Because, I mean, Olympia was always something that I wanted. It was always within my sights, especially once I got the pro card. Because it was like, you know, what's the next, you know, goal? And I didn't think it would happen that fast. But when they made the announcement, I just knew. I said, okay, I got 100% chance at, like, really winning this.
Right.
I'm going to be work, but I'm up for it. I'm up for it because with it coming back, we get to kind of redevelop the whole landscape of what the division is going to be like. So I'm like, okay, if I can bring in the best package, bring the best Andrea that I could, I knew I had a really good shot at securing the title. And I wanted it. First year back, after a hiatus, I'm like, oh yeah, we could totally like just give it your best and let's see what happens. And paid off big time.
Now, did you do any contests in between the Rising Phoenix to the Rising Phoenix?
I did do the Omaha Pro, which was a great show. So, I mean, and Ann and Jack did a great job because they initially had it set for like June, and then it got moved just roughly about 30 days out. I mean, and with it being a pandemic, I was like, okay, cool. I didn't have to change a whole lot. I mean, I changed my flight, but I mean, everything else was really smooth. The prep was still good. And it gave me, actually, I was kind of grateful. It gave me an extra 3 to 4 weeks to, you know, really dial things in. So yeah, and that went well, won that show. Again, we had a lot of girls in that show. One in particular, I know Rashana Boswell came over from Women's Physique. So it was also really cool to see, like, more of the Women's Physique girls are like, okay, you know, this is definitely going to be a better fit, and it's okay. You can come on over. Like, Miss Olympia's back. You know, come on over. And she was at the Olympia this year, last year. So that was really cool to see, you know, so many of the girls now, like, saying, okay, it's worth making the transition. Miss Olympia's back. Let's see where it goes. You know what I mean? That excitement. So cool. And yeah, then the Rising Phoenix came back around again. Oh yeah.
So you've won that, okay? Is there any thoughts in your head that I'm going to win the Olympia?
Oh yeah.
All right, I like that.
Oh yeah.
I like that.
I mean, I was kind of.
That's the athlete in you.
That is the athlete in me, but my coach and I because I didn't want to waste any more time. I wanted to get back home and get right back into the prep. I cooked enough food to get me through the next week because there was only a 2-week difference between the shows. But yeah, I mean, I knew then, I said, if I can just put my foot on the gas just a little bit more, we got a good shot at making it work. And I mean, I was riding the wave of, you know, excitement from the win. because it was still so. It was such a victory moment. Like, okay,
Right.
all of that work that I did and all of the, being agreeable to the change.
Yes.
Because from women's physique into bodybuilding, it just wasn't on my radar. I really had my heart set on women's physique, but then I began to see, okay, those were the right decisions. I
Right.
made the right decisions. And
Yeah.
now I just got to make sure that I bring my best. Got 2 weeks to dial it in and you can take the title home.
Right.
It's yours for the taking if you can just stay focused.
Okay, so now you're on the Olympia stage. It comes down to the final two, and you're standing there. What was going through your head?
I got this. I got this. I got this. I mean, I knew that I did everything that I possibly could. And that even meant when we got to the host hotel, there was a gym there.
Yeah.
It was a great gym. So, I mean, I called Coach. I'm like, Coach, you got to get down here. It's got stair mills. They got treadmills.
Yeah, it's a really good
Oh,
gym.
it was awesome. And, I mean, it's midnight. And I'm like, can I get in, like, a last chance workout? And he's like, do you feel like you're up for it? I'm like, yeah. And I mean, I'm down there working out. It's like, this is so cool. And, I just wanted to make sure I knew within myself that I did everything I possibly could.
Right.
To really, bring the best. Because, again, it's the Miss Olympia. It's
Right.
back. You want to make sure that you represent every single aspect of, what it means to be a female bodybuilder the best you can.
Right.
Yeah. And, I mean, it meant a lot to me to make sure that, I gave everything. I put it all in. And a lot of people, I didn't make this public, but I really had some extra incentive to really go after both titles. September of last year, because I had a full-time job, salary job.
Right.
And then COVID, unfortunately, had its head reared itself, and I lost my job. So that became it was a bit of a sad moment because, I had been there for so long. Right out of college, I went there to do my internship, and I really got to refine myself and develop myself as a professional. It was kind of like my baby that I built up. But
Right.
I told my coach, I said, okay, I don't have a job to go back to. This has to work.
So this is not your job.
This is it. Like, this is the only thing that I have, and it has to work. And knowing that, I just knew that as long as I gave it my best, I would let God do the rest. But, I went into it knowing that I had to really do my best because there was no way that job was coming back. So,
Right.
I was saddened at first, but then I had to really just shake it off. And I just had to focus on getting through day by day, training
Right.
session by training session, meal by meal, and do my best to secure that prize. So, yeah, dialed in, 100%.
Yes. All right. Well, it worked out great.
It did. And then when I found out it was on my birthday, I had a little sneaky suspicion that, it was going to be a good
Yeah.
day. And it definitely, hands down.
So in a roundabout way, you actually got to have your cake and eat it too.
I did. I really did. With all of the ice cream and fixings and, oh man.
Because once the contest was over,
Oh, yes. I mean, And I think it's still, because I didn't sleep for like 2 days. I was just going, and it was just, yeah, I mean, I'm still kind of like going.
Right.
It's been so amazing.
well, it hasn't even been 2 months.
Yeah. It's still sinking in. I look at
Yes.
the medal every day, and I'm like, this really just happened.
Yes.
Wow. But then I think I got a title to defend.
Yes.
So I got to make sure that, I start getting things in order.
So are you going to go back to the Rising Phoenix?
I am.
Defend your title?
I am.
Win your title?
I am. I'm gonna
So
do
you're putting
everything.
everybody on notice?
I am.
Tell
And they know. And we always talk. Me and the girls, we talk. So it's a friendly competition, but we definitely know it's still a competition.
Right.
But yeah, I think that, and it's good for us because we want to keep each other sharp. We want to keep each other on our toes. Many of them, are you doing your cardio today? Did you get your meal in?
Yeah.
I'm getting it in. And it keeps us moving forward because again, our goal is to make sure that now that Miss Olympia is back, we got to make sure we do our very best at each and every one. Because
Right.
we earned our right to be there. And we want to make sure that we do our absolute best.
Right.
So yeah, I'm coming. I want the titles again. Both of them. So, but I'm also eager to see some newcomers.
Yes.
I'm hearing more and more about some ladies who are crossing over from women's physique. So it's good.
Well, it's nice that with the women's division, you can kind of see where you actually fit now.
Yeah, yeah. And it's very, very secure. It's a secure feeling knowing that this is exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Because, I mean, I know you've seen, like, here, you came from figure to women's physique to women's bodybuilding. I know previously we were talking about the wellness division. Who knows, maybe one of them ends up moving over to women's physique or even women's bodybuilding. They've already got they'll have the lower body structure.
Exactly,
You know?
exactly.
So, and then it'll be interesting in like probably the next 5 years or so to see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like with the men's physique. They outgrew men's physique, which is why we have classic physique.
Exactly. And then some even in classic have outgrown and now are in the open.
Or in the 212.
Yeah,
even.
exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's the beauty of the organization. There has been such attention to detail where, here's like Sandy, we want to know what the athletes want. You go down to Brazil and you get to see what's going on and what it is that the audience really is enjoying about each athletes or each model search and things like that. We find a way to incorporate it into the organization so that everybody, regardless of body shape, previous athletic history, there's a place for you.
Right.
There's a place. You outgrew this division, guess what? We still got another place for you.
Yes.
And it's so cool because now the girls who, and I've talked to a few, so frustrated, they're not small enough for bikini, but they're not adding on enough size to be in figure. So, I mean, the wellness division is going to be huge for them.
Yes.
And, I mean, I'm so excited to see them because, I mean, I'm a huge fan.
Right.
To see, and, I mean, I got a couple favorites, but I want to see, these girls on the Olympia stage. Like, wow, this is making history.
Right.
Again.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Our organization has made history 2 years in a row.
Yes.
Amazing.
And on the women's side.
Yes. And the men may come soon, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, the men always, there's a lot of history there.
Yeah, it really is.
But, I mean, it was very momentous to get the Miss Olympia back. I know I keep repeating myself like a broken record.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, but it's notable, right?
Yeah.
I think it's just very, and I've had a couple fans to say, and even some retirees who have been competing, we're so happy that it's back.
Yeah.
It's so good to see that you guys are back. And
Yes.
it's welcoming on all fronts. And it increases our excitement. It increases our motivation to get out and do everything all over again when it comes to bringing the best package that we can to the stage. So 2021 is going to be good.
Yes.
Very good.
So let's talk about some people that have been instrumental in helping your career. Let's give a shout out to somebody or some people that have helped you. If you want to give a shout out to them right now.
Well, thank you so much to my coach, IFBB Pro John Simmons, for definitely taking the time to see the potential, even though there were times he knew I had that potential, but I wasn't quite ready. I wasn't dialed in mentally, but it's been an amazing journey. I couldn't ask for, a better coach who really does enjoy the sport. For him to continue doing, his own show, promoting the organization, still judging, it definitely says a lot about his commitment. So huge thank you to John. Thank you to Wings of Strength. Thank you so much, Jake, for making sure that we as female bodybuilders have a chance to be on stage. I mean, you have changed my life. And it's just been amazing. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Alina, for your endless amount of wisdom and the things that you girls have encouraged me to continue to go after. It definitely is something that I keep very near and dear, close to the heart. And thank you for the whole team over there at Wings, because I always say there's always somebody in the background that you don't see who's probably working twice as hard as the person that you do see. So thank you so much, Alex, Jessica, Jody, Pat, you girls. Jess, I know that there's a lot, especially with so many shows. They're packing things up, making sure that everybody's got everything that they need. And they do it so selflessly. Every time I see them, they're always just full of smiles, full of joy. But yes, thank you so much, girls. Thank you so much to the Olympia team, Dan Solomon, Tamer. Thank you for doing an amazing job, because that was just, I had to buy the replay of the show, the restream.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, I gotta do it, because it's like, it was just that big of a show. So,
Right.
I mean, and for them to do what they did in such a short amount of time, I mean, they are definitely like
Well, yeah, like I
class.
said, to move a contest of that size, cross-country, and basically you have to start from scratch again because what you were planning for Vegas does not work in Orlando.
Not at all. Not at all.
And, I mean, we're literally talking, I mean, Dan made his announcement the Tuesday before the NPC Nationals, which was the weekend before Thanksgiving. Okay, so you literally had a month
Yeah. Yeah.
to put it all together and get it going. Listen, you can't even say a month because when we got there on Monday before the Olympia, everything was pretty much getting ready to go because you had the amateur Olympia, and they had already started building the Olympia stage up there.
Which was huge, by the way.
So you're talking maybe a little over 3 weeks
Yeah, yeah.
to do that.
But we could not tell.
Right.
We could not tell. It was that world class. And I mean, these gentlemen and their team, they do an amazing job. I mean, and you know, like I know, they're go big or go home.
Right.
They're going to do it. And they put their heart and soul on the line. So, I mean, a huge thank you to them because
Yeah.
that production, and for it to be my first Olympia, you've been to 31, so I can't, my first Olympia, it was amazing to see.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Everything from, you know, the stage to the streaming, because I gave a lot of my family and friends who could not make it, you know, the information about the streaming, and even they said, wow, it was just
Right.
perfect, because we still got to feel like we were there.
Right.
And I mean, what a huge thank you to them, because without them, I mean,
Right.
we may not have had an Olympia.
No, I'll say we probably wouldn't have.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm sure
Yeah.
I stand in, you know, agreement with all of the rest of the athletes. Thank you. And thank you to my suit sponsor. She really took a really good care of me while I was on the road. I mean,
Your shoe sponsor is?
she's Maritza Escobedo. So she's Suits by Emmy. She
Okay.
primarily only has an Instagram presence, but, you know, she took her time, especially with, again, the pandemic. And she had so many other athletes that she was working with, some wellness girls that she's been sponsoring, so I'm excited to see them too. But thank you, Maritza. I greatly appreciate you. Looking forward to working with you this year. She's going to dazzle me up for this next Olympia at
Good.
Rising Phoenix, so it's good stuff. But thank you to my home gyms back home, Mind and Muscle, Anytime Fitness in Madison Heights, and my beloved Powerhouse Gym of Highland Park, which now has 2 Miss Olympias from one gym. Amazing stuff.
It is, absolutely, absolutely.
And thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I think we made a deal. I got
Yeah, I'm putting her on the spot that, will you be back here to film Road to the Olympia and be the first Miss Olympia to film a Road to the Olympia?
The
Because in
first
this,
ever?
in this digital age, there's never been a Miss Olympia to do it.
I do agree. I think it's important.
I mean,
we gotta do it.
people that have been here before were back in the magazine era.
Ah, okay. Then it's
You know.
only fitting. Miss Olympia must do it.
Yes.
She must.
So she's making the commitment, she'll be here.
Shake on it.
We'll shake on it.
All right.
But guess what? If you tried to back out of it, I would torture you. I'll be honest.
Well,
I'd be blowing up your phone.
oh.
You know, I'd be putting stuff on social media.
And then you may not get the best stage shots of me either. You know, you do pretty good. I like your stage shots, so I don't want to mess that up. I agree. But it'll be fun.
As some people say, I'm relentless when I want something, but you would know about that being an only child too.
Yes, indeed.
We figured
find
out
a
we're
way.
only children.
We
so-
find a way. Yeah, and I know you get what you want by how you just shoved Miss 8-time Olympia into
There's
the
no one else who
interview.
could have done it.
True. No one. I'm still shocked that you got her to do it, but I mean, she did it. She didn't say anything. Yeah, he gets what he wants. But we, as only children, we find a way.
Yes.
We're inventive. We have the time to think,
Right. Too much.
as long as it works.
Exactly. In our favor.
That's right. The only way it works. But you've got my word.
All
I
right.
will be here.
We will be here.
It's gonna be the
All
first
right.
ever. Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, I won't. Don't have any snacks around though, please.
No,
I'll be
no.
in prep.
No.
Okay.
None.
I'm like, oh yeah. After
Okay.
the show.
Yes.
Okay, but yeah, while I'm in prep, be nice.
That's it. Okay.
I don't want to make him upset.
All right. So J.M. Manion.
I'm Andrea Shaw, Miss
We're-
Olympia.
Yes. Signing out for NPC News Online.
Woohoo!